A new plan is providing relief and hope for those that are impacted by the issue of homelessness on the Santa Barbara waterfront.
I was affected by the fire, the recent Loma fire, as well as having a homeless person on the other side of my fence who is naked, or the other time I thought a person was dead on the other side of my fence. It was very frightening.
Residents like Donna aren't the only ones that are working to improve the homelessness issue at the waterfront. Local hotel owners are also getting involved.
We have 3 businesses in the West Beach waterfront area, and we were noticing a large number of homeless individuals. The impact was much greater than it had been in the past, and it felt like it was unmanageable. We had fights that were taking place daily. We had a couple small fires that occurred. One of our properties is directly against the fence line at Pershing Park. Encampments were starting to build right at that fence line. So not only did our guests start to visibly see the encampments and the tents growing, but also hearing what was taking place at night.
Both residents and local hotel owners wanted to get involved in a long-term solution to the homelessness problem. So they got into contact with SB Act.
So what we do is basically work with county, city, neighborhood, business owner, faith community partners to try to align all the efforts around a social opportunity like homelessness or human trafficking.
In order to tackle the problem of homelessness in more of a targeted way at specific locations, SB Act created what are called Regional Action Plans, also known as RAP. With local hotel owners, business owners, residents, CityNet, and other community members involved, the Waterfront Regional Action Plan was set into motion. The goal? To reduce the number of those impacted by homelessness in the waterfront area, and ultimately get those individuals into long-term housing.
We have a 3-year kind of common agenda plan to increase our outreach, our housing retention, our housing units. So ultimately it's bringing that number down.
The RAP meetings are weekly calls where residents, business owners, and homeless service providers get together once a week, and we talk about the impacts of homelessness on the neighborhood and address the needs of both sides of the coin for homeless individuals and then also those that are impacted by homelessness.
Each person attending the weekly Waterfront Regional Action Plan meeting is able to voice how they're being impacted by the issue of homelessness. And through collaboration, the group comes up with solutions to the various problems.
Once we started our email chain, the business owners and residents here, we started to notice that it was the same individuals that were causing problems or nuisances at each different locations. We were able to share those patterns and consistencies with SB Act, and then they were able to locate folks and offer treatment. And what's nice is that Santa Barbara PD is also part of these RAP meetings. So when we see crimes that we don't have enough information to file a police report, Lieutenant Kushner can at least follow up on these incidences, and it's a great way to share information and really get to the root of the problem.
When a homeless individual is identified through the sharing of information, CityNet staff will reach out and build a relationship with that person, assessing their needs with the goal of getting them into housing.
Seeing a dynamic with the regional action plans that are giving us an avenue for education. We're able to answer questions as they arise. And so when someone has a question or someone has a concern, a lot of the times we're able to troubleshoot within that conversation, provide a resource in that conversation. So we're seeing connections much more quickly than we would if we weren't meeting in that avenue.
Going into this, I had a little bit of knowledge about all the difficulties that are concerned in the homelessness issue, but you really start to understand and appreciate how hard it is to solve these issues, both with the laws that they have to contend with, and also the fact that the homeless, regardless of their situation, they all deserve the same rights as the rest of us do, and whether they've got mental issues or addiction issues, and they need to get the services that they need. So how do we do that? How do we wrap around those services? After this 6 months process, I would say I'm much more enlightened and compassionate about the issue, but I say we also need to stand up as a business community and go, okay, if this is the solution that we agree is going to be the best path forward, then we need to advocate for it and help go to the city and go to the neighborhoods and help explain that situation.
Educating one another and collaborating as a team is what makes regional action plans successful.
Every single one of our meetings has an agenda. We take meeting minutes, we have action items. We respond to those action items every week or every month in terms of how often we meet. And then we're reporting regularly to our leadership. If we didn't have that cycle of accountability, if we didn't have a plan making sure that we're adhering to that level of accountability, then we would probably lose engagement a lot sooner.
With the regional action plan in the works, homelessness is being addressed on the waterfront, not only helping the businesses and residents in the area, but also helping those individuals on the streets. A win-win for everyone.
This is not just about business. This is about seeing what's taking place in our neighborhoods, and we care about people. We don't want to see people suffer. And when you see things like somebody who's clearly in mental distress, you feel helpless if you can't do something to change that for them. And so being part of these wrap calls, it feels like we're participating in something that's going to have lasting, sustainable, meaningful change.